Good morning, CTV viewers. I'm Jacqueline, an optometrist at Lapeer, Uganda. Welcome to this show. The recommended eye care practices we have are, the very first one is having the regular eye checkups, as this one helps us to identify the eye conditions we could be having along the way. This is so because most of the eye conditions are painless and they are gradual. Some of them do not have any symptoms, so it can be hardly possible for a person to understand or recognize that they have an issue with their eyes unless they have their eyes checked and diagnosed by the doctor. Secondly, maintaining a good or healthy weight is very important, as too much weight predisposes us to some of these conditions that are dangerous to our eyes, for example, diabetes and pressure. The other thing is having a good diet, a balanced diet, comprising more of fruits and vegetables. This is a good practice for our eyes. The other thing is I encourage us, the CTV viewers, to do these regular body exercises, as it helps us to regulate our body weights, as it is also a hazard to our eyes in the long run. The other thing is putting on the right prescription lenses. These ones, we can only get them after we've been diagnosed and they've been prescribed by the doctor. Another thing to handle the glasses are protective glasses. They may not be necessarily prescription glasses, but when they're to protect our eyes, for example, for people who do these kinds of jobs, for example, welding, there's people who deal with timber, these things can fall into our eyes as foreign bodies and they can be a hazard to our eyes. Another thing are sunglasses. This helps us, they help us to protect our eyes from the UV lights from the sun, the UV rays from the sun, and these strong lights that are emitted by the sun. These sunglasses with UV protection in them do help us to protect our eyes. The other thing is understanding your risk factors as an individual. For example, people who as you advance in age, your risk of getting eye challenges increases. So understanding your risk factors as a person, or people who have underlying medical problems, all those ones are at risk of getting these eye problems. So when you understand your risk factor, it does help you to do these regular eye checkups, such that we can have the condition corrected earlier. The other thing is you understanding the family history. Family history, I mean, for example, people who have a history of glaucoma. Some of these eye conditions are hereditary. For example, some kinds of glaucoma, that one is increased eye pressures in the eye, characterized by increased eye pressures, and this condition really leads to blindness in the long run. So when you understand that in my family we have this particular history of this eye condition, it will always give you the chance and the opportunity to have your eyes regularly checked, so that we can curb it before it progresses. When and where should one seek these eye checkups? Are they even ideal? Yes, eye checkups are surely ideal for each one of us, with or without any eye conditions. First and foremost, most of these eye conditions are painless, and some of them, as dangerous they are, they may never present with symptoms in their early stages. Yet it is always good for them to be identified earlier, so that we can treat them as soon as possible to prevent their progression, or to even have them cured. So for each one of us, it is advisable for us to have these eye checkups at least once every year. At least once every year. I do recommend us, all the viewers, to have these checkups done, whether you're sick or not. Most especially and most particularly people who are at risk of getting these eye conditions. For example, people who have these underlying conditions, people who are hypertensive, that is, people who have high blood pressures, people who have high blood sugars, people who have these infectious diseases, people with rheumatoid arthritis. All these people, for them, It is actually, well, when they see the eye doctor, the very first thing, the eye doctor will actually advise them on how often to have these checkups. Not necessarily once a year. They may have to be reviewed after every 6 months or after a particular period of time. Young children below 3 years or below 5 years, these ones, when we take to the ped optician, that one can also help us to advise accordingly on how often they should take these children for the eye checkups. Adolescents, 1 year or at least once a year, that is very good. As we grow older, above 60 years, those ones it may be necessary for them to do the checkups at least twice every year, as it is they are more at risk of getting these eye conditions. So in general, I say each one of us, whether you know you're sick or you're not, at least have the eye checkups once every year for us to know which state our eyes are in, and then we can know how to help accordingly. Or we may not necessarily need medical interventions, but the doctor will always advise you on how to continue keeping your eyes healthy. The particular time when one should critically seek medical assistance regarding the eye, this it comes in when a person is now having these symptoms. Yes, every time any person gets any eye issue, however small it may be, it is important for them to seek medical attention. Why? These eye drops we do just get from pharmacies may not be really good for our eyes in the long run. So anytime any person gets any eye irritation, anytime any person gets any eye problem, eye pains, some of them are very instant. When a person recognizes they could be having a gradual loss in their vision, that person is always advised to come and seek medical attention, not just to go and get these over-the-counter drugs to put on the eyes, because they are not really very good. Also, when a person realizes they are at risk of getting these eye conditions, whether they felt any symptoms or not, they are advised to go and check these eyes.
So what type of eye defects does Lapeer treat?
What types of eye defects does Lapeer treat? Lapeer does treat a number of refractive errors. For example, we do treat myopia, that is the short-sightedness. This is the inability for a person to view things that are at a distance. They may appear blurry to the individual simply because the image is formed in front of the retina, not on the retina. In normal circumstances, for the brain to interpret a particular image viewed by an individual, that image should be formed on the part of the eye called the retina. So if the image is formed in front of this particular part, the person is termed to be short-sighted, and they will not be in position to see things which are far away. They may appear blurry to them. The other condition that Lapeer does treat is hyperopia or long-sightedness. This is when the person is unable to see things which are close to him or her, but they can see those that are far away a little clearer. This is because the image is formed behind that part of the eye called the retina. And this condition we do manage it using glasses also. The other condition is called astigmatism. This is a condition where the eye may not necessarily produce one image. This is as a result of a poorly or distortion in the shape of the cornea. It is basically a distortion in the shape of the cornea. So this one we also do treat them, or we do manage them using these toric lenses. The other condition that Lapeer does treat is presbyopia. This is a condition characterized by poor near vision or poor close vision as someone advances in age. It may come as early as 35 years, though each one of us is affected differently. To some people it may find them as early as 35, others it may find them in their 40s, 50s or 60s, so we are affected differently. So with this we also correct them with particular lenses that help this person to see things that are also close on top of seeing those that are far. I urge each one of us, the viewers of SEETV, to always have get interested in your eyes. Love your eyes, love your eyes, take care of them, because it is the only thing that can help us appreciate the world. It is one of the senses that that we do rely on our day-to-day activities. So love them. With or without any ocular symptoms, go visit the eye doctor. Just this information that they do give us is of very much importance to us. So I do urge each one of us, do these regular eye checkups, do the eye exercises. Let us take care of our eyes. Let us quit some of these habits that are of harm to our eyes. For example, smoking and alcoholism. Those habits are not good for our eyes. Let us try to avoid these very fatty foods, ready-made foods. Having them on a regular basis is also not good for our eyes. I urge each one of us to have the passion for our eyes, to have the passion for our vision, so that we can be in position to appreciate the world and our surrounding at large. Thank you.